New Hope is about reaching people with the gospel of Jesus Christ and just helping presenting it in such a way that wow, it's just so revolutionary and so real.
New Hope has been just dynamic. It's just a dynamic church. And I just really love being at New Hope.
And it's an awesome church.
You know, when we began, we didn't have much. We had just a station wagon and a van and a guitar and some congas.
I remember the first service that we had, the orientation service, which drew about 140 to 150 people. And, you know, then Dan was kind of deciding whether we should take up collection or not, or take the tithes or offering. So finally he said, yeah, let's do it, our first one. So we did. And he says, oh, you know what, let's buy 50 chairs. Now 50 chairs, that was an awesome step. We were going to get our own equipment.
We didn't have a bunch of technology. I mean, right now we might have cameras and multimedia, etc. But when we started off, we had no inkling of that.
A lot of it was we were really going into uncharted waters. We didn't know what we were doing. Pastor Wade was right in there, scrubbing floors, setting up chairs, cleaning bathrooms, and we were doing all of that. So we were parking cars, doing ushering, collecting the tithes.
In the beginning, it was just for my department. All I had was me.
So our first service at Stevenson, I mean, we figured, oh, maybe 300-400 because we're having people come in from the outer islands to support us. But it turned out that we had 700 and more. People were being turned away because we had no parking. The place was full. People were standing up, but we didn't have any more chairs. To see that in just the first service, it was like, wow. And Pastor Wade said, you know what? On Monday's meeting, he says, God's already gone way ahead of us. We just have to run behind him and try to keep up with whatever he's bringing us.
What New Hope does is that it puts in you a real desire to get closer to the Lord.
It's moving. And I think it's spreading. And it's touching hearts and touching souls.
We never imagined it would grow so quickly. All our hearts was to do God's will, do the best we could. Our goal was not to build a big church. Our goal was to build big people, to help them grow in what God called them to be, to do.
You see, God never gave us so much that we couldn't handle it. He always took us in little phases right along the way. And before we knew it, when we turned around, there's 6,000 people there. But I think if we turned around in the first month and looked at 6,000 people, that was going to be happening 4 years away, we might have been frightened and not be able to do it. But God is wise in what he does.
And it's been a ride ever since. And one that I never regret, and I'm thankful for. I've learned a lot. It's been some stretching times, some growing times, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, not for the world. It's been a great 4 years, and I think what God really was interested in the first place was not any skill that I had back then, but it was just a heart willing to say, here I am, God, use me for whatever I have. I'm willing.
When I think about the amount of lives that have been changed, there's nothing greater. You know, we can do a bunch of programs, we can do things, or we can do activities, but if lives aren't being radically changed, then it's just a lot of activity. That's about all it is. But our bottom line is to see people's lives transformed by the power of Jesus Christ.
one thing that's real, that really helped the church to grow is like that you could just come just as you are. You know, it didn't matter if you were in trouble or having a hard life or going through, you know, a hard stage in your life. You could just come to church and people would just love and care for you.
Come just as you are.
But I think it's because we have such a anointed, spirit-filled pastor who delivers his message in such a simple and pure way.
So when God continues to add to their numbers, add to our numbers, I'm just simply amazed and just glad to participate. Yeah, it just brings more than tears to my heart. I just know that each person here is valuable to the Lord. So valuable and so precious.
Just as you are.
I'm just so overwhelmed by how great it's been coming here.
If you want a vibrant relationship with the Lord and be a part of a body that's furthering the kingdom of God and just want a place to serve, New Hope is a place to be.
New Hope began that way and it continues on. I think what we really need to concentrate on, though, is to make sure that for the next 4 years, we continue to have that heart and continue to love people, and people come to Jesus because they see Jesus in the hearts of the people of New Hope. Not necessarily all the wonderful things that we do, and they're excellent, and they're all done by volunteers of New Hope. And I'm sure God is pleased, but I think God is also pleased when people come to the Lord and they say, I came because I saw you in that person's heart that went to New Hope.
Our desire is that our hearts will return back to that pioneer stage, that raw desire and energy to serve Jesus with all our hearts. You never want to lose that, because that's what God used then, and that's what God is going to use in the future.
Christ my King.